If you want to see some DIYs with some brand new Dollar Tree items, then this video is for you. Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. If you guys are new, my name's Liz, and for today's video I have some Dollar Tree DIYs using some brand new items that I've recently found at the Dollar Tree, and I wanted to do some DIYs with them to show you how you can incorporate these into your home decor and your crafting projects. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump right into the video. You're going to grab 2 of the galvanized animals that they have at the Dollar Tree. I know they also have a chicken, but I only found the cow and the pig. You're also going to take 2 of these signs that I picked up from Michael's. They were around $5, plus you can get them 20% off. Now you're going to grab some antique wax from Waverly chalk paint, and I'm going to use this as a stain, wiping my wax on with a paintbrush, or painting it on, I guess is the better term. And then you're going to use a paper towel to remove all the excess wax after you have painted it on. And I just paint the wax all around my frame, making sure to get that little lip on the inside, and then the sides and the top and back portion of it. So you're going to make sure that your frame is all covered in whatever stain that you want to use, really. And I get a lot of questions as to why I like using this as stain, mostly because it does not have a smell and it doesn't stain my hands really bad, and it dries really fast, unlike other stains. You could also find a water-based stain if you are looking for those kinds of options as well. But the smell is the biggest one for me. It doesn't have any sort of stinky smell, so I can do it in my craft room. Next, I just took some Waverly chalk paint in white, and I'm taking it on a brush and mostly just dry brushing with it. I wanted this to look like it had been, fully painted white in the past, and now it's all old and chippy and worn. So I mostly just did a really rough dry brush with it. Now you are going to take your pig and your cow, and I'm going to cut the twine off of both of them, and I'm going to take my Farmers Market 12x12 collection scrapbook paper pack from my website, moredecaldecor.com. I'm also going to be using some of the stickers that come with this pack as well, and I just flipped through until I found a couple of pages that I wanted to use, and I'm going to take my cow and I'm going to trace it on the back of that scrapbook paper. Now you will have to use an X-Acto knife in between the legs and the tail in the leg just to get, the scrapbook paper off of there, unless you have some really tiny scissors. But I ended up using a little X-Acto knife to get those pieces off. And then you're also going to do the same thing with your pig. Just trace it on your scrapbook paper and cut it out with your scissors. Use an X-Acto knife when you need to get into those hard to reach places with your scissors. So I'm just going to take a glue stick and glue my paper down to my animals. You can use whatever kind of adhesive that you want to use. And then to make it a little bit more rustic, I'm going to take some more of my Waverly Wax and Antique, and I'm just going around the entire pig and the cow, and I just kind of rub my finger along the edges, kind of make it look a little bit more roughed up, a little bit more rusty. And then I'm just going to hot glue these to the middle of both of my signs. And then I'm going to take some stickers, like I said, from that 12x12 collection from my website, and I just take them and put them right in the middle of each of my animals, and I thought these looked so cute. So I just had this little farmer's market with a truck, and then this other one with this galvanized farmer's market sign with an arrow. I just stuck both of them on the middle of the cow and the middle of the pig, and then I'm going to take some twine, wrap it around my fingers about 3 times, and then I'm going to take an excess piece of twine, wrap it around the middle of the twine, and tie a knot. That's going to give you a cute little twine bow. I'm going to do this for both of my animals, and I'm just going to hot glue the bow right about the neck area of each of the animals, giving them a little bow. And that's all you have to do for this DIY. For this DIY, you're going to take these little tag signs the Dollar Tree has come out with. They have this black kind of chalkboard one, and then they have a whiteboard one. They do come in a pack of 2, which is even better, more cost effective. And then I'm going to take some more of this paper that you can get off of my website in single sheets. I just thought that this pattern of flowers was really cute, and I loved the mustardy and the teal color of it. So I'm just going to trace one of my tags out on this paper and cut it out with some scissors. You're only going to do this with one of your tags. Next, I'm going to take a glue stick, run it all over my tag, and then apply my paper to the tag. And if you have any excess paper hanging over the edges, you can take your X-Acto knife and cut off all the excess. Next, I'm going to take a COUTURE transfer. This is the Feels Like Home transfer, and I love the little chicken on there. And you are going to fuzz your transfer to make it not super sticky, and once it's just, that perfect stickiness, you're going to go ahead and use it on your other tag sign. And I'm also going to use the chalk paste in eucalyptus. This is my favorite chalk paste. I always get a lot of questions about which chalk paste I use the most, and this is definitely one of them besides just your regular white and black colors. I love this color. It's very farmhouse. So I'm just going to take that color on my squeegee, run it along the transfer, and then watch this super satisfying peel. How well this turned out. I absolutely love it. If you're ever interested in COUTURE, it's always linked below. Now I'm going to take some of this leather fabric that Dollar Tree has now come out with, which is very exciting, and bunch of different colors, and I just traced out a little portion to cut out and put at the bottom of my sign with the scrapbook paper, kind of doing a little layering action. And I'm just going to hot glue that down to the bottom of my tag, and then once that's all nice and stuck down there, I'm going to layer the Feels Like Home tag on top of this other tag, making sure that the holes meet up at the top, and then I just kind of matched the 2 corners down together. I'm going to take some twine and this wreath that I got from Hobby Lobby. This is just like a little mini wreath that I thought was really cute. And I'm just going to tie that to the wreath, tie the twine in a bow at the top, and that is it for this DIY. Super easy and so adorable. For this DIY, I'm going to take one of these wood frame with tin board signs that have recently come out at the Dollar Tree, along with this galvanized welcome wreath that is also new at the Dollar Tree. And I'm going to start by taking this fabric that is also new at the Dollar Tree. At least these are new to me and my Dollar Trees. These are the first time that I've ever been able to find these, and I was very excited. So I am going to take that fabric, and I kind of just rough estimate how big that I need the fabric to be, because I am going to be tearing the edges. I want to cut it out a little bit bigger than I need it. So then I just cut little slits in each of the sides and tear that fabric, because I do want the fabric to have a very worn look to it. Then I'm going to take some Mod Podge, rub it all around that sign, making sure to get it nice and covered, especially in the middle. The fabric isn't going to touch all the corners and all of the sides, so I just kind of, roughly put that on there. And then I'm going to add my fabric to the back. Next, I'm going to take some of this Dixie Belle Farmhouse Green chalk paint, another one of my favorites, linked below. I'm going to take that welcome galvanized wreath from the Dollar Tree, and I'm going to paint this with 2 coats of this green paint. And I just do up and down dabbing motions. I find that works best on metal items. And then just doing 2 coats of that made the coverage nice and even. And then I'm going to take some gel super glue and add some super glue to the back, add it to my sign, and that's it for this DIY. For this DIY, I'm going to take one of these chalkboard mason jar signs. This is the first time I ever saw these as well, which I thought was really fun. I also found some stars. And I am going to flip it on its back and paint it with 2 good coats of my Waverly chalk paint and plaster. Next, I'm going to take a black paint pen, and I just did a really rough outline of the mason jar. Did the little circle at the bottom and the little lines at the top for the lid. Nothing too crazy. I'm not an artist by any means, so don't be too judgmental on my line drawn. And then I'm going to take some rub-on transfers. I'm going to cut out the happiness is homemade. I'm also going to take some more of the black leather fabric that the Dollar Tree carries. I just cut it into a really thin strip, and then I took that strip and cut it in half. And I'm going to wrap this around my mason jar, one towards the bottom and then one towards the top. Now I'm going to take that happiness is homemade transfer. I'm going to center it as best as I can, and using a popsicle stick, I'm just going to rub and rub and rub all over this until it is completely stuck down on there, and then you can remove that clear film. Next, I'm going to take some greenery that I got from Michael's. I just cut off a little portion of this and hot glued it to the top of my mason jar. Added some twine around that to kind of cover up that stem as much as I could. Hot glued the twine to the back, made a bow with this farmhouse ribbon from the Dollar Tree, and hot glued that to the very top of that stem. And that is it for this DIY. Really, really easy, and I think this one turned out so cute. And that is it for today's DIYs. Let me know what your favorite project was in the comments down below. Don't forget to subscribe before you guys leave. Give this video a big thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and I will see you in my next one. Bye!